Well, good evening and welcome. My name is Darren Barton and welcome to this evening's Hangout. Now, I'm just going to do a little bit of chit chat, just make sure that we're recording okay. So it's just about to come up. Yeah, there we are. So we're recording okay. Now then, I had some challenges, shall we say, with my internet on, when was it now? Friday. And I seem to be having similar problems today. So in advance, just want to make sure that I've got everything loaded up, and that's what I've done now. So first of all, big welcome. So I'm a couple of minutes late. I'm just trying to shut everything down, then reopen everything again. Internet seems to be playing okay. So hopefully you can see and hear me all right. So just very, very quickly, because what we're going to do is we're going to go through a little bit of an explanation. Obviously, there's lots and lots of people now very interested in doing the binary option trading, but obviously what we're going to be doing today is actually doing some live trading. So I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what we're going to be doing, why we're going to be doing it, and obviously if you're new or you're watching a recorded version of this, then obviously just making sure that you've logged in and just following some of the principles that I'm going to be going through later on today. Now then, if you scroll up to the top of, if you scroll down to the bottom below me, you'll notice that in the first comments section, I've just put a couple of links, and basically these are hopefully useful links for you. So if you don't have, now we're going to be using Pocket Options as a binary trading platform tonight. Doesn't really matter which platform you're using if you're just practicing and using the demo account. If you're interested in our binary bot, then obviously the first platform that we're going to be connecting it to is Pocket Options. So it just sort of makes sense that if you haven't got a binary options account at the moment, then just use the link below, and that will obviously get you connected to the binary bot once it becomes live and you are one of the lucky people who gets hold of it. All right, I'm not going to go into the whys and wherefores with all that because I don't want to waste any more time going through that. Jeremy, I'm sure, will go through that on Friday. Also below that, you'll notice at point 3 is our chosen charity. This is Zukul's charity. They're sponsoring a dam building exercise in order for in combination with WaterAid. So if you like the information that you're getting on this Hangout, then I very much would appreciate you just dropping a little bit of a donation to WaterAid. You can do it, through WaterAid completely, or if you want to help us with our particular sponsoring, then obviously you can use the link that's below there in the chat as well. All right. Other thing, the last one to go through is, if I just quickly scroll up, obviously we've got the live chat, which is going on over here. Obviously, if you are watching it live, it won't work if you're watching the recorded version, clearly. If you do have any questions, then please make sure that you put them in capital letters. It just makes me, it just makes it really easy for me to look at them, or spot them rather, when I'm scrolling through, because obviously as we go through, there'll be lots and lots of comments on there, and little bits of chatting between individuals. It's just a lot easier for me to see the questions if they're in capitals. All right, so hopefully everybody is now up and running. So what I'm going to do first of all is just go through a little bit of a presentation and just show you the types of things that we're going to be looking for, and then, like I said, we'll come out of that and we'll dive straight into our binary options account, and then we'll start to do what we've learned in practice. We'll start to put some of that into theory, and like I say, I'll keep popping into the live chat there just to see if we've got any questions. All right, brilliant. Okay, right, now the first thing I need to do is I need to share. So I just need to make sure that I keep quiet now, because obviously I want to make sure that I don't make any mistakes on this, because I'm not very good at multitasking, as some of you will be aware. Okay, right, so just make sure that you're seeing that. So just bear with me a moment. just have a quick drink while I wait for the Hangout to catch up on my end. Okay, right, we look to be okay. Right. Okay. Oops. Right, there we are. So first of all, like I say, welcome to zukul.com. If you're completely new to Zukul, you want to know more information, then obviously get in touch with the person who suggested you watch this video, or if you've just stumbled across this video on YouTube or on Facebook, then of course if you want more information, then just go to zukul.com. Today we're just talking about binary options trading, and I'll explain why that is in a moment as we go through this presentation. And like I say, if you haven't got a binary options platform already, then just use this link here, which is goo.gl/UZ capital Z R5M, or just go to pocketoptions.com. And just open a free account. You just need to put in an email and you're basically good to go. If you are using this link, then again, just make sure the promo code says ESTART100. All right. Okay, so for those of you looking at Zukul for the first time, what are we, or who are we? Well, you can obviously find more information at zukul.com. This is obviously just a bit of our website. Basically, what we do is we're going through a process of creating trading bots, or helping people trade financially. Using crypto trading bots. We've got crypto to crypto, we've got crypto to fiat, or fiat to crypto. We've even got crypto to gold, and we've got those bots all up and running at the moment. They will help people with very little time or very little knowledge about trading. They will help people start to accumulate either crypto or some additional fiat wealth using those crypto bots. A lot of information on the website, and obviously if you want more information, then just have a look at the people who leave comments on this video and just get in touch with them, and I'm sure they'll be able to point you in the right direction of what Zukul can do and what Zukul can't do. We're also in the process of creating a binary trading bot, which again is the reason why we're doing this Hangout. And we're also, as we announced last week, in the process of creating an arbitrage bot. And if you don't know what arbitrage is, it's basically making money or profiting between different prices of things. I'm not going to go into that at all today. Again, I'm sure that Jeremy will go through that on the Hangout on Friday. So there's our website, lots of information there for you, and obviously we've got lots of social proof, if you like, or testimonials on the website and on our Facebook page if you want to go and have a look at those. And like I say, if you want to get in touch with any of these individuals, I'm sure they'll be able to help you understand a little bit more about Zukul and how it works. As I've already mentioned, we have a charity that we're working with, which is the Water Project, or Water Aid, and we're in the process of helping this community create a sand dam, which obviously will enable them to basically access fresh water and obviously benefit from the facilities of that. It's a great cause, and like I say, if you appreciate anything that we do, or if you make profit using some of the trades tactics that we're going to show you, again, we really appreciate if you could make a donation to Water Aid. It's a really worthwhile cause. Okay, so here we are, binary options trading. If you don't know what binary option trading is, don't worry. Hopefully in the next 10 minutes you will become an expert. What is binary options? Well, as you can see, this may look a little bit complicated. It's essentially you're making a decision, if you like, whether it be a bet or a guess, or a decision made on facts about whether a price of a particular product, in this case we're looking at a cryptocurrency called Burst, whether that price over the next time period, that could be as much as a minute, it could be as little as a minute, or as much as 5 minutes, or even a day. It really depends on the platform and how you're trading it, whether that price is going to go up or down. And if you are correct, you're going to win some money. If you are incorrect, then obviously you're going to lose the cost of your bet. So that basically is how binary options work. What we're going to very quickly cover today is we're going to go over some safety tips. We're going to build our money management plan. We're going to very quickly talk about price action. We're going to then talk about understanding and interpreting signals. In this case, we're going to look at candles in particular. We're then going to look at interpreting indicators, which is the Bollinger Bands. And we're then going to look at putting these indicators and signals together into what we could look at as a good or a bad chart, and hopefully going to help you identify charts or currency pairs that you need to stay away from, and some that you might want to invest a little bit of time into. And then, like I say, finally, we're going to put all of this together into a particular trading plan, and then we're going to do some live trading, and I'm going to basically walk you through exactly what we do. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the trading safety tips. And unfortunately I've spelt this incorrectly, but anyway, hopefully if you trade safely, basically we want you to trade safely, as in you need to know that you're going to lose some money, certainly in the early stages of learning. Hopefully that won't be a great deal, and if you learn correctly and you are disciplined, then obviously you're then going to start to profit. Clearly, those of you who are using our binary bot, you could basically shortcut some of this learning curve, and obviously the binary bot will help you to make profits on a regular basis. However, we're going to be showing you how to do this manually. Now, what I suggest, this is all me personally, okay? So me personally, I have two accounts. I have a demo account and I have a live account, okay? I don't have money in my demo account, and I'll explain why that is in a moment when we go live. But basically, it just stops me from flicking between the two, and sometimes making mistakes, sometimes getting overexcited and going into a live trading mode before I'm ready. So I always have two separate accounts. We're going to create a money management plan, and once you've created it, you need to stick to it. Then once you actually do start trading live, make sure you're betting small. We're talking $1 here, $2 here, not massive amounts, okay? And then obviously if you do start to increase it, make sure it's increased in line with your money management plan. Only, okay, really important, only use money that you don't need, okay? I have people contacting me saying, will this platform take a credit card? Well, yes, it will. Any business will take a credit card because basically they want your money. However, if you are using a credit card in order to bet, then just be mindful of the fact that if you lose all that money, you've not only lost that money, you then also need to pay that money back to the credit card. Okay, so you're going to lose twice. So please only use money that you do not need. Now, that may be $10 to some people, it may be $100, it may be $1,000, it may be $10,000. It really doesn't matter, okay? But make sure that you're only using money that you can live without. And if you do go through losing streaks, as everybody does, then never chase the losses. Never think, oh, I've just lost $200 here, I need to continue trading until I make that $200 back. Don't, okay? Just turn everything off and walk away. It can sometimes be the hardest thing to do, but this is all part of your trading plan. And like I say, this is your exit plan, okay? Have an exit plan. So if you are only going to lose $100 today, then if you do lose $100, then make sure you exit, okay? You switch the computer off, go and walk the dog, make a cup of tea, go and do whatever it is you need to do, okay? Please do not think that you need to go chasing those losses, okay? Make sure you walk away. Okay, so we talked about money management plan, okay? There's two parts to this money management plan, and this is really important that you decide before you trade how much you are prepared to lose, okay? So today, how much am I prepared to lose? I'm prepared to lose $3,000 in our trading account, okay? So if we go on a losing streak and I lose $3,000, then I will just, regardless of the fact that we're on a hangout, I will just simply walk away from it, okay? I'll be polite and I'll switch the hangout off, but I will just simply walk away. And now, as a trading plan, okay, we have a trading balance, as you'll see when we go into live trading mode of about $13,000. Now, we should be trading between, as a guide, between 1 and 5%. Now, if we had a trading plan, trading balance of $10,000, then if we were going with 5%, we would be trading with $500 each time. If we went with 1%, it would be $100 each time. And just look at those numbers and decide how much of a value that you're comfortable with, and then stick to it. So it might be that you're uncomfortable with trading with $500. So perhaps $100 is near your comfort level. And if that's the case, great, but stick to it. Don't chop and change between these during a particular trading session. So as you can see here, if I was going to go with 5%, I would be going with $500 bets each time. Now this will allow me to lose effectively 20 trades, okay, i.e. 500 times 20 losing trades would cost me $10,000. So it's just basically trying to help you understand the relationship between how much you've got in your starting balance, how much you're prepared to trade on each place on each trade, and then realistically understanding how much you could potentially lose. So part 2. How much are we going to bet each time? And then if we do lose, what are we then going to do about it? Now, we're going to do today is we're going to do a 1-for-1 betting plan, which basically means that we're going to place one bet, and then if we win that bet, brilliant. But if we lose that bet, we're going to bet the same amount again straight away, and we're going to place that bet immediately straight afterwards. Okay, you can do a 1 for none, which is basically you place a bet. If you win, great. If you don't, then you just wait for the next signal. Or you could do a 1 for 2, which is you place a bet, and if you should lose it, then you would place a second bet straight away, but it would be 2 times the amount of your initial bet. Okay, and then obviously you got 1 for 3, 1 for 4, and so on and so on. So therefore, what does all this mean? Well, basically, if we were to bet $300 on our first bet, if we were to lose it, we would then place immediately a second bet of another $300. Okay, so hopefully you can understand that we're going to be doing a 1 for 1. All right. Price action movement. So if you've never done any trading at all, this will be brand new knowledge. Okay. So what are we talking about? Well, as you can see here, we've got the Australian dollar and the Canadian dollar. Okay, and basically this is the price action between both of those currencies. And as you can see, the price starts low here and then rises up a little bit more, and then does a little bit of a jiggery pokery, flattens out a bit, and then as you can see, it sort of rises again gradually, and then is a big price drop, and then starts to fall away again here. This fluctuation in prices happens all of the time, and binary options is all about making sure that over the next time period is making sure that you guess which way the price is going to go. So if we were trading this area here, we could place a bet that the price of the price here is going to rise, or the price is going to go down. If we were saying it was going to rise, then we would have lost our bet, but the price actually went down, in which case we would have won our bet. So that's basically what we call reversal or swing trading. It's basically betting on the opposite of what is actually happening at the moment. Next thing is understanding and interpreting signals. Now, we've just seen some squiggly lines which don't really mean a great deal. So what we've laid on here is what we've called candles. Now these are, now I do apologize, I forget now whether they're Chinese or Japanese. I think the Chinese pricing mechanisms. They used to use it for the price of rice, I think, in some ancient times. But basically, the way that candles work, it can look very, very complicated when you first look at it. But what you need to understand is that a green candle is where the price has gone up during this particular time period, and a red candle is where the price has dropped back or gone down during that particular time period. You'll also notice that there are some little thin sticks, whether it be green or red, either side of some of those candles, and we often refer to those as wicks. hence the name candles. And basically how they work is very simple. Again, you can see, let me have a look at this candle here at the top left here. So you can see here that during this time period, okay, the price of this candle started here, okay, where my white cursor is. And then during the time period, the price rose and then finished just here. The next time period, the candle price starts exactly where the last candle finished. But during this time period, the candle price dropped. The price of this particular item dropped. So the price falls down here, okay? And you can see where this wick at the bottom is. So it came down as far as here, but then just before the end of this time period, the price rose again and finished here. Okay, so that price difference is telling us that the price actually fell this far, but actually closed at this point. And it's at that point that the next time period starts, where the candle, the price of this candle then rises, okay, and then closes at this point. But you'll notice that there's wicks either side of this candle, and that basically means that during this time period, the price will have fluctuated between a low at this point and a high at this point. But it finished at this point here. But because the price was higher than where it started, that candle turns green. Okay, now sometimes, again, next to it, you'll notice that this candle is a red candle, but the price of it started here. Now there's what we call a gapping. So that gap there has been created, which means basically the price has jumped from this candle, this time period finishing and this time period starting, and that can often happen. Okay, and then obviously it just continued. And basically what we're looking at is not only the type of candle, the size of candle, the shape of candle, or even the pattern of candles. There's all different ways that you can interpret these candles. However, what we're going to do is something incredibly simple. We're going to use something called a Bollinger Band. Now, Bollinger Band is something that we're going to set up today. And as you can see, we've got a low Bollinger Band here in green, and we've got a high Bollinger Band here in red, or a high line in red. And obviously between those two lines is what we call the Bollinger Band. There is another line that runs through the middle, but we're not going to particularly focus on that today. There is another strategy for that, but we're not, like I said, we're not going to focus on that today. We're just going to look at this top red one and this bottom green one. Now, the way that you can interpret the candles in relation to this Bollinger Band is very, very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to notice that as the price comes out the top of a Bollinger Band, the next thing it wants to do is actually get back inside this Bollinger Band. And then again here, you can see as the candle pokes out the bottom of the Bollinger Band, the next thing it wants to do is get back inside the Bollinger Band. So in principle, the price always wants to be inside the Bollinger Band, and that's the signal that we're going to work with. Now, if we were to use this particular graph here with that particular strategy, you could see here that we would place as this candle rose out of this Bollinger Band, we would make a bet that the next candle would then do what we call a reverse. It would go down. So we would place a down bet, and as you can see, we would win that bet there. Again here, you can see that the candle comes out of the Bollinger Band, so we would then place an up bet because we think the price is going to go up. And as you can see, we would have won that bet here. Now, it doesn't happen all of the time. As you can see here, we've got a candle that just comes out of the Bollinger Band, which we could have then said, okay, well, the price, next candle, is going to go up, but it didn't. So we might have then placed another bet. Remember, we're doing a 1-for-1, so we would have lost that bet. So we would have placed another bet immediately straight afterwards, but we would have lost that as well. However, eventually the price did go back into the Bollinger Band. But just bear in mind that we could have lost $600 on those two losing bets. Remember, a bet of 300 and another bet of 300, both would have lost. That said, time goes on. We've got another winning bet here. The Bollinger Band comes out, and we're going to bet that it goes up. And then again, we've got another winning bet here, another winning bet here, another winning bet here, and then we've got another winning bet here. But you see what's happened is the price went up, so we would have placed a down bet, but because it didn't go down, it went up, we would have placed another down bet, our 1 for 1, and we would have won that. And then again, we would have won this bet here. So in this scenario, you can see that we would have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9 trades just in that particular time period. So that is the signal, i.e. the candle, and the indicators, i.e. the Bollinger Bands, that we're going to be using today. So what sort of charting are we going to look for? What sort of things are we going to be noticing on charts to see whether it's an opportunity for us to make some money, or at least some good bets which we've got a good chance of winning? So let's first of all have a look at what a good chart looks like. Now this is a good chart. Now, all things being well, okay, we cannot trade with hindsight. We can only trade with what is going to be happening in the future. However, this is an ideal trading pattern, and the reason I'm saying that is because you can see that the Bollinger Bands are fairly narrow, or getting narrow here, okay, and then this line here that runs through the middle is fairly flat, okay. It's not very, very flat, but it's fairly flat. And basically what happens is you can see that the price is coming up to the Bollinger Band and then back out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way across this time period, before we then start to get to some craziness as those Bollinger Bands start to winding up. And you can see that that fairly flat line then starts to take a sharp dip here. Again, during this process, you can see that we may have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 out of 21 trades that we would have won there. So that would have been a very profitable, what would that have been, about an hour and a quarter, a really profitable time period. But it's about recognizing when a price which is crazy here is then going to go through to some sort of flat period, okay? So that's a good chart. We're now going to look at a bad chart. Now, why is this a bad chart? Because you can see that the bands are still quite narrow. Well, the differences is that this band period here is quite wide, and this area here, we've got wideness going into sort of a really tight funnel, and then it's expanding again straight away. And this has been repeated in this area here. See, it's quite wide, then shrinks in. You think it's going to go into some sort of funnel or tunnel type pattern that we've seen before, but then the Bollinger Bands start to widen out again. And that's caused because this pattern here, this moving average in the middle, is on the way up. You can see that I've indicated it by saying it's on an uptrend. Now this is quite subtle, and you could get caught out on this, but you need to understand that, you know, if that band there is going up or down, you probably want to stay away from that particular pairing until it sort of settles down a bit, okay? And as you can see, as an example, we would have won 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7 out of 7 trades. So we would have lost about a third of our money just on those simple trades. And again, similar time periods, about an hour and a half, that time period there, and it wouldn't have been very productive for us at all. Okay, so we're going to do some live trading. I'll very quickly go back to the Hangout just to see if we've got any particular questions, make sure I've not left anybody behind. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do when we get to what I call an event. Okay, so that's where, let me see if I can go back to the chart. Okay, so this is what I would call an event. So an event is where a candle either pops up or comes down below a Bollinger Band. That creates an event. Okay, so when we have an event, we're going to use 1 minute candles, we're going to use Bollinger Bands, and I'll show you how we set all this up, don't worry. And we're going to be placing a reverse bet when the candle either closes above or below the Bollinger Band. And our money plan is that we're going to be using a 1-for-1 betting plan, and we're going to be using between $300 and I think $600. It really depends on where we are with our trading balance today, but whatever it is, we're then going to stick to it, and I'm prepared to risk, like I say, $3,000 during the course of today's trading. And basically that is our plan, and we're going to stick to it. So let's go and do some live trading. So before we get cracking, let me just go over to the Hangout. So do we have any questions? So I can't see anything at the moment in capitals. So I'm hoping that we have no questions. Everybody is happy with what we've got. I'm all for shortcuts. Yes. Yep. Bit late, no problem. All right. Okay. So let's everybody, if you can go into your pocket options account, if you've got that, and we'll get going. So I'll just wait for my pocket options account to warm up. I'll just have a quick drink. Okay, right. Now then, so as you can see, I am clearly in my demo account. We've got $12,900. So we're going to call that 13,000. Right, so we're going to call it 13,000, and we're going to find what 5% of that is, which is 650. All right, so what I will do is I will trade with $600 today. All right, like I say, we're going to do a 1-for-1. I'm not sure what's happening with this at the moment. I'll come back to that. Right, let's just very quickly go across the top here. Now, if you click this box here, okay, you can see all the different pairs that you can be trading. So you've got currencies, you've got cryptocurrencies, you've got commodities, and you've also got stocks. Now, cryptocurrencies, I'm just going to have a look at ZEC BTEC again, see if that will load up. Which doesn't appear to be, which I'm not sure why that might be. Let me just refresh the screen. Continue demo. There we go. Right. So let's just go to cryptocurrency. And I'm going to ZEC BTC. Okay, so I'm on ZEC BTC, and as you can see, we have this line system. Now, the first thing we're going to do is create those candles. So you want to come over to this box here with the squiggly line on. Click on that, and we're going to choose the candles section here. So you just click on the candle sign, and then it'll open up these time periods. So you could have candles which are 5 seconds right up to 1 day. Now we're going to choose 1 minute candles. So we're going to click on M1, and that, once we've done that, we're then going to close that box, and you can see now we've got 1 minute candles. Now you can already notice why I've come to ZEC BTC. See that flat line? Okay, we like that flat line. We may have missed the opportunity, but we like the flat line. We're now going to go to our indicator. So we click on this, I don't know what you would call it, squirrely line. So we'll click on that box. And we're now going to click on Bollinger Bands. Now you can, of course, experiment with all of these indicators, and we may cover these as we go through the weeks ahead, but we're just going to focus on Bollinger Bands tonight. So you click on that box, and you're then given some choices. Now, normally, depending on how bullish you are, okay, how confident you are, you could play with the time periods and the deviation. Basically, the time period, the longer the time period, the smoother that middle line is, okay, that sort of bluey line. The deviation, the higher the deviation, means the wider the bands are. So to give you an example, if I put 30 days, or 30 periods I should say, which is 31-minute candles, okay, and if we then put I'll put 3 on there, okay. The green is our top line color, and we're going to make that quite thick, so we're going to put 2 pixels, and the bottom line we're going to make that red, and we're going to make that 2 pixels as well, and then we're going to click OK. And basically what will happen, it will now overlay that Bollinger Band over. Okay, so now if we just slide it across, you can see here that it's quite a nice smooth moving average, but there's very few signals. All right, now it really depends on how risky or risk averse you are. Okay, now the 30 and 3 will give you a lot less signals, but those signals could be quite good signals. So as you can see, as we scroll through here, from 5 o'clock this evening, you would have had a winning bet there. You would have had a winning bet there. You would have had a winning bet there. You would have lost here. So you would have won 3, lost 1, and that would have been it. So you can see, just if we just focus on this area here, that the deviation of 3 has made those bands really quite wide. So if we now go back to that box, click it again, and now what we're going to do is we're going to change, click on the current indicators, and we're now going to click the little pencil icon here, and we're going to change that now to 20, and we're going to change this to 2. Okay, and we're just doing this to just show you the difference between those 2 bands now. So now in that same time period, you can see how those bands have come closer together, and that middle line is a little bit more choppier than we've probably experienced before. Now this time we've got a winning trade here, we've got a winning trade here, we've got a winning trade there, possibly one there. Wouldn't have placed a bet there. We would have eventually have won that one there. We'd have won one there. Possibly, depends on how much you're going for it, but you might have won one there. Certainly won one there, but again you would have lost here. So just by shrinking those the deviation from 3 to 2, you can see that you're now opening yourself up to more winning trades. Now we're going to do it once more. I'm going to click on that box again, and we'll click the indicators, and this time we're going to go from 20, we're going to go to 15, and the deviation, if we went to 1.5, okay, and click OK. And again, now you can see we've got lots of signals. There's a win, there's a win, there's a win, there's a win, there's a loss there, possibly a win, another win, another win, a win. There's a win here, there's a win there, there's a loss, no, there's a win there as well, possibly a win, definitely a win, 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 possibly a win there as well, and definitely a win there. And again, you would have still lost this. There's nothing you would have done, even at a 30 time period, you would have lost there. So you can see by shrinking those down, it's creating you, especially when you've got that sort of flat trading pattern, an opportunity to make some really good wins. However, we are trading basically anybody can make winning trades if they're doing it historically. It's about what happens in the future that's the important thing. So let's just go to the future now. So as you can see, the price, in this scenario, the prices started to shoot up, and you got this huge uplift here. We would have left the trading at this point. We wouldn't have been making any trades at this point. It then starts to calm down a little bit, and we will possibly have then come back to then start looking at this market again for this time period. But you can see here that again we would have lost here. So is this the beginning of this type of thing again? So you can see that you need to be really much in tune with the pairing that you're trading, but also the patterns that it's creating. All right. So what we're going to indicators again, and hopefully open that box. And for tonight, I'm going to be trading at a time period of 15 and a deviation of 1.75. Okay, which is, it's middle of the road-ish, if you like, for the way that we're going to be trading today. It's going to create me more signals to show you how to trade, but it also creates more risk. It's not a pairing that I normally would trade unless I was really confident about the way that that particular market, excuse me, had been trading during the course of, say, a couple of hours. So what we're going to look for is we're going to look for a pairing that is starting to settle down. Now I'm going to go with cryptocurrencies simply because I go with cryptocurrencies more often than anything else. So I have a better feel for them. So all I do is I go to cryptocurrencies, I start at the top, and I literally just scroll down. I just keep clicking them and I just have a look to see what that pattern looks like. So go to BTMEX, don't like that. Don't know how you pronounce that one. Let's just pull this one out. See here we've got craziness, but it might start to be settling down a bit here. Not convinced, so we'll go out to whatever that is. LTC, nope. Nero, nope. Ripple, definitely not. ZEC, I'll come back to this one because I quite like what it did, and it might settle down in the next few minutes. So what I will do, and again you can do this as well, is I'll just click this star here, and what it will now do is I'll put this chart into this area here, which allows me to just click on it quickly. Let's go to Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, nope, Zk, Bitcoin Cash. Now you maybe get a little bit frustrated in thinking, well, hang on a minute, you need to be trading. I need to be showing how to trade. What I'm showing you here is going to, okay, right, I'm on Neo BTC. Okay, now you can see that the overall price middle line, okay, there's a bit of a dip here, okay, and it's what caused this here, but it is sort of level if you squint. Okay, it's sort of level, and yet the price is opening up a little bit, but these candles are really, really long, and that gives you sometimes an opportunity to have a play, if you like. And remember, if we're in our demo mode, this might provide us with some opportunities to do some trades. So what I will do is I will star this one, and we'll flick between ZEC BTC TC. Let me just have a quick look at XMR. Now XMR is normally quite a good favourite of mine. I don't think it's going to be behaving really for tonight, in time for tonight. Okay, so let's just have a look at these two. So I've starred ZEC BTC and Neo BTC. Now I'm on ZEC BTC. You can see here the price is rising. Now what I'm going to be doing in order, how do I then make a place a bet? Well, you can see that we've got two timers here, one on the left, one on the right. Now or in the course of today, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the right hand timer, and what we want to do is make sure that that timer there it'll go down to 30 seconds, and then it'll go to 1 minute 29 seconds, and then it'll go down from 29 down to 0. What we want to do is wait until that timer gets down to something like 1 minute 0.5, so about 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and that's when we're then going to be placing our trades. So you can see here that the price has risen up, the bands have gotten really wide, but they seem to have come back in, the price seems to have come back in the bands, and it now seems to be making some sort of sensible headway. So we've got 10 seconds here. Let's have a quick look at Neo BTC. Let's go back to ZTech. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a bet now. All right. Now I'm just placing a bet. All right. Now what that means is that I'm betting that that price is going to fall. I don't know whether it's going to go up or down, in all honesty, but I just want to show you how we make that placing of a bet. Now, at the moment, the price is still going. You can see that the countdown here. I'm just moving my market, so you can see the price has gone down, which is enabling me to make a profit. But I suspect the price will also go up as well. But you notice here it's now going to 1 minute 23, 22. So we're going to wait now. Keep an eye on this line here. Okay, it's giving me a guide at the moment that we're making a profit. But if it goes in my favor, then great. But if it doesn't, I'm going to lose $500. So you can see the price is dropping, and the countdown goes down to 1 second, and we've just won $970. Now that was a complete guess. All right, that wasn't based on any trading pattern whatsoever. It was just a complete guess. In actual fact, I thought the price was going to go up, which is why I made that bet. So we'll just wait for this to happen. Just go back to Neo BTC. Let's have a look at that. Now you can see here that we look like we could be entering our little funnel, or tunnel, I should say, our little tunnel phase here. So if these candles could continue to get, nice and long like this, then we could have quite a bit of fun with Neo and BTC. Let's go and have a quick look at ZAC. Okay, keep an eye on this here, this countdown. So the price isn't going to do anything over the next 6 seconds, I wouldn't have thought. So I'm just going to have a quick drink while we wait for that to change. Go back to Neo BTC. Nothing there either. Okay, I'll just quickly come back to the chat. Okay, have we got, oh, Rocco got a question. What are the settings you normally use when trading? Okay, just push that on a bit. Okay, Rocco. It really depends on what it is that I am trading. I normally trade with, go back to our deviation here, sorry, our Bollinger Band settings. I personally trade with a period of 20 and a deviation of 2. That's my default. Okay, what that does is it provides me with stronger, not more signals, less signals, but those signals are generally better signals. They're not going to sort of continue to go up or continue to go down. What I'm doing today is trading with a shorter time period and obviously a smaller deviation, just to try and create more signals so that I can demonstrate how to place those trades. The other thing that actually I forgot to mention is really important is that the time period here, so it says time until purchase. Ignore this clock, okay, but this M1 here is really important. If you click on that, you can see that you can change it from 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes. That basically, if we click on the 3 minute, you see how that line moved. So that basically would mean that I would place a bet that would last for at least 3 minutes. Now at the moment, I'm only trading 1 minute candles because I don't want to wait too long for either a decision to be made whether the price was good or the price was bad. So I think that it normally defaults to 1 minute, but if you want to experiment with 2 minutes or 3 minutes if that suits your style. Then obviously you need to make sure that you change that each time, because I think the default is 1 minute. I'll just come back to the chat just in case there's any other questions. So if you've got any questions, just stick them in the chat, and I shall get back to you. Right, let's just see what else we've got trading wise. This seems to be settling down now, so let's go over to NeoBTC. Right, I'm going to quickly see that. Oh. Okay, so you can see how that price popped up here. Okay, now the time here, we've got 12, 11, 10 seconds. Now I'm not going to place a bet here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll place a down bet. Okay, so I'm betting that the price is going to continue falling, whereas I think it might go up. Okay, but I just want to, oh for goodness sake, don't tell me I'm going to start the same as we did last week where I couldn't lose. Hopefully I will lose this one. You won't hear me say that very often, because what I want to demonstrate is how you do the 1 for 1, but that doesn't seem to be working, does it? So you keep an eye on this time period. Okay, it's going now 33, 32, 31, 30, 29. Okay, we'll just click this. All right, price is going up. Great. So I was betting that that price would go down, and it's not gone in my favor. So I've now got 16 seconds and I'm going to lose this bet. So what I would normally do, okay, is I would wait for it to get to about 3 seconds, and I would then place a second bet that the price is going to go down like that. Okay, so you can see that here, okay, I was thinking that the price was going to go down, but it didn't. The price went up, which meant that I lost that bet. So because I'm doing a 1 for 1, it means that I now place a second bet for exactly the same amount of money, okay, in the hope that I now will win back enough money to offset my losses for the first bet that was wrong. Now I would be doing this outside of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, I'm only doing it here inside the Bollinger Bands simply to demonstrate how I would use a 1 for 1 betting betting thing. So you can see here I'd lost $500 on that first bet, but if I was to win this bet, okay, which looks like I am, I've just placed a note bet, okay, because the Bollinger Band bopped out of that. Sorry, the candle bopped out of the Bollinger Band at the bottom. But you can see that I lost that first bet, which was $500. So I placed a immediate second bet, okay, for another $500, which basically means that I've now won back $970, of which $470 will obviously offset the losses of that first bet. So hopefully that makes sense. So let me just get rid of that. So what I did here, very quickly, the candle was coming down here. We keep an eye on this, got to about 3 or 4 seconds, and I placed an up bet because our system tells us that if the price comes below the Bollinger Band, we think that the price will automatically go back up, okay, which it appears to have done. And obviously we now won another $970. So we started off with, I think it was 12,900. Okay, so we're not doing too bad, even though we've tried to lose some money. We're not done too bad. So I'll just quickly go back to the chat just to make sure that I've got any questions. No, we've got no questions. Right, so we're coming up to 8 o'clock. What I might do is just trade for another few more minutes. If you guys want to follow me, then we can do that. If you've got any last questions, now is the time to actually answer those questions, ask those questions, and I'll get back to you. This one, NeoBTC, looks like we're going to go through a period of some stability. So this might be one that you could do some practicing on in your demo account. ZekBTC, again, okay, it's had a bit of craziness here, but you recognize this pattern. If I just scroll out, recognize this, Okay, it looks like we might have a little bit of this going to be bolting onto this time period here. So again, these might be two good ones to keep an eye on over the next hour or so. If you want to trade, have a practice. Just go here. Yeah, see here, same thing but in reverse. Okay, bit of craziness, settles down for a time period that looks quite flat and tradable. Okay, so these look like ones which, you know, if you're looking at doing some practicing, ZEC BTC and NEO BTC look like they could be quite productive for you. Let's go back over to NEO BTC. See what we're doing here. This one looks like it's been quite good for large parts of today. You know, I know the price, I know obviously it looks squiggly, but you've got to bear in mind that this is from 2:30. If we come into, woof, bit of craziness there, and then it's really settled down, hasn't it? Yeah, ZEC BTC, I would imagine that there's a couple of losing bets there, possibly, but no, I can see lots of winning opportunities there. Okay, ZEC BTC. Okay, right, looking like we're getting close here. 9 seconds. Ooh, nearly. See there? I'm just going to place an up bet with 1 second to go, and I've missed it. See how I've missed that there? Now, if I entered the market really not in a place where I'd want to, then if I was quicker, I would then place a reverse bet immediately. I've missed that opportunity now because obviously I'm trying to explain it. But you see how that was like 1 second and I placed a speculative up bet. And by the time I clicked it and it'd been registered, the price had moved, so it was placed in the middle there. Now, if that was the case for you and it wasn't in a place that you wanted it to be, then the best thing to do is effectively place another bet almost immediately, because that way you're going to sort of counteract it. You'll lose one but win the other because you've effectively placed the bet in exactly the same spot. So you can see here, as the price moves in between these two spots, it's irrelevant to me whether I win or lose because I'm going to get that profit. But we're down to 2 seconds and we're going to go up. Okay, so I might have done that too quickly for you. So basically what's happened is that the price has come out of the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So obviously our system tells us to place an up bet, which is what I've done just there. So just to remind you, I'm in ZEC BTC. Hoping, now if it goes up here, we're on like 30 seconds, if it goes above this Bollinger Band, then again you may have another opportunity to place a down bet at the same time. So I'm just going to give it, I was going to give it a little bit longer then, but obviously not. So I'll give that 14 seconds to count down, see what happens with that. Okay, there we go. Now, I would stay out of this market now because you've got a big gap between these two candles, all right? Now, you may have placed a bet and you may be thinking, okay, well, I need to place another reverse bet, and you may win it, okay? Okay, so you may be winning that bet, but because that candle has started outside of that Bollinger Band, that there looks too similar to this sort of gapping, so it looks too risky for me to be placing bets, so I would let that one go. Now, I may lose a winning trade here, but I would rather lose that winning trade than continually lose money when this type of thing happens. So you can see how, you know, it looked like it might have been a winning trade, but obviously there's a big gap happening. So I'll just wait with this for a few seconds just to see how that pans out. Yeah. So there you can see. So it's just finished and you would have lost money there, but experience is telling me to stay out of that market because the candles has not started from inside the Bollinger Band. So you see here, the candle starts from inside the Bollinger Band and comes out, but then you can see the candles here are already outside of the Bollinger Band. Now, if I was a speculative man, this looks like a real high, so I'm going to place a down bet. Okay. For some reason, it's not letting me place that bet. Okay, let's place that bet now. Now, I've just placed a speculative bet here simply because that looks like a day's high. Okay, and you would imagine that it's not going to like the day's high. It's going to come back from that. But again, I would do this only while playing in a demo mode. It's not something I would risk $500 of my own money. Okay, but it's just, again, an opportunity that it's done quite a lot of down movements here. Okay, it's trying to make up some of that price, but it might have gone too far for its own good. So that's why I placed that speculative bet here. Let's just quickly go over to Neo BTC. Similar thing here. Okay, so we would have placed a bet here. It came out of the Bollinger Bands. We would have placed an up bet here, but again here it's gone in reverse. It's reversed, so we would have lost that bet. So now you might be looking to place a second up bet for it to go up there, and it looks like I've just lost that ZEC bet. Just shows you, doesn't it? Okay, right, there we go. Look, I've actually lost for the first time here, so I've lost $100 during this trading. Okay, but that was, like I say, a speculative bet there, and here I probably would have lost again if I'd entered the market here, but obviously cautioned me against it. Let's go back to this Neo bet, just see how this one works. See here, so you would have lost that bet because you would have placed an up bet here because that candle had come out of the Bollinger Band. You would have lost it because the price came down. So you would have then placed a second bet for the price to go up. And again, hopefully you would have won that. You can see we've got just a few seconds to go. Yeah, so you would have won that bet. So you would have won that trade. Okay, let's go back. I'll stop sharing. I'll just go quickly back to the Hangout. Let's make sure we're all caught up. Questions. Rocco, to me, when to place a second bet is not clear. Okay, well, hopefully, Rocco, I've just explained that, but let me go back to that chart, and hopefully I will explain it to you. So let me just zoom into here. So if you can go to Neo BTC, okay, and we'll just quickly go through this scenario here. Okay, so you can see here that a red candle, so the price has dropped out of the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Okay, so that creates your signal. So as the price is coming down here, you're watching this countdown here on the right hand side get to about 4 or 5 seconds. And as it comes to about here, about 4 or 5 seconds, you'd click your green button and you'd make an up bet, because our system is saying that if you come out of the Bollinger Band like here, then the price is going to want to go back into the Bollinger Band. So you would have placed an up bet. So that would have been where you would place that up bet here. Now, what actually happened was the price of that candle continued to fall. So you would have lost that $500. In my scenario, you would have lost that $500 here because the price fell. Okay, so this is when you then place your second bet. So as you wait for that candle to finish, okay, you're looking at this countdown button here. So when it gets to about 4 or 5 seconds, clearly the price isn't going to shoot up. So you would then place your up bet again, your second up bet. and because of that up bet, because of that candle then went up in price, you would have won that bet. So that's when you place your second bet. So hopefully that answers the question. Just go back to ZUKBTC, see if that one's, yeah, same thing here. So if we zoom in here, so in this scenario, the candle came out of the top of the Bollinger Band. You would have placed a down bet because you would have thought that the price would have gone down at this point. I think I've just realised I'm not sharing, am I? Sorry about that, guys. Oh dear. Right, start again. Right, I shall go and start again. Sorry, Rocco. Right, let's go back to it. Right. Okay, let me come back. So I'm at Neo BTC. Okay, that's where I am at the moment. And we're going to look at this big green candle. Okay, so the price went up. Okay, and as the price went up, you would have been on alert because you know the price has gone up. You looked at this right hand countdown till it got to about 4 or 5 seconds, and you would have then placed a down bet, because if the price goes above the Bollinger Band at the top, our system is telling you to place a reverse bet, so to go down. So you would have placed, in my case, a $500 bet that it would have gone down. Now it didn't go down, the price continued to go up. Okay. Now it would have been obvious with about 4 or 5 seconds to go that this price is going to stay up here and I'm going to lose that bet. So that's when I would then have placed a second bet of $500 that the price would go down. Okay, because our system says that if the price doesn't go down first time, it should go down within the next candle. Okay, now in this case it did go down, so I would have won that bet. So it's about waiting for that candle to finish, and it's keeping an eye on 2 things. It's keeping an eye on this countdown here at the top right, and it's keeping an eye on the price of your particular candle that you're looking at. Okay, so let me just stay on this candle at the moment because it's going up at the moment. So we've got a countdown here, and I'm going to keep my mouse over the little red button, but it's not going to go now. So we're going to, so I'll place a down bet now. Okay, so I'm going to assume that that candle is now going to go down in price. Okay, so see what I mean? It's about waiting for, it's keeping an eye on this, and then in your periphery vision, keeping an eye on that candle, and then placing that bet, whether it be up or down. Now this price here, it could go up, could go down. Hopefully it'll go up so I can show you how to place that second bet. And I can't help myself to go and have a quick look at Neo BTC while we're here. Yeah, I think there's mileage in Neo BTC if you want to do some practicing with that. Okay, so we're going to lose this bet. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on this countdown, and I'm now going to go back to my red button. Okay, looks like we're going to win it. But either way, you've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I would now place a down bet. See how that I'd lost that within a few seconds? So I would have placed another down bet for that to go down. Hopefully that has helped. Does that help? If I'm just conscious of the time now. Did that, Rocco, if you could just let me know if that has helped you with the placing of the second bet, or if anybody else has got any last minute questions, because obviously I'm conscious that you know, we have overrun tonight. Have a quick drink. Yes, it does. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Neo BTC. Yeah, if you're going to do some practicing, I would have a look at Neo BTC for a while now, because I think there's going to be some opportunities there for you, and perhaps have a play with the your indicators as well. You know, making them wide, making those bands wider or smaller, or whatever it might be. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Like I say, Jeremy is going to be going through, I think he's doing a hangout on Friday. Unfortunately, I won't be here. I've got my cousin, not my cousin, yeah, my niece, sorry, is going to Australia for 6 months. So we're having a leaving do on Friday, so I won't be here. But I will be back here again next Wednesday. And what we'll do is we'll do some more trading, and we might have a look at a different style of trading. Or we may stick with the Bollinger Bands. Depends on whether you guys have got the hang of these Bollinger Bands, or whether we need to go through some more examples of that. All right. And if you've got any feedback, add it to the comments below. And like I say, if you are a member of Zukul already, just give us a little bit of explanation in the comments, and don't forget your Zukul affiliate link if you're an affiliate, because like I say, obviously I've referred to people to have a look at the comments, and obviously they will click on those links. So just give yourself a little bit of information, just say a little bit of who you are, and then obviously just pop your affiliate link on there. Any feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, really doesn't matter. Again, just add those to the comments, and I will obviously basically update those comments as we go through the week. Right, lovely. Take care, and I will speak to you next week. Bye bye.